Hey guys, welcome to Trippy Commentaries in our 2014 through 2015 WWE preview. We had a pretty monumental WrestleMania 30, where we saw Daniel Bryan come out on top. He is our new champion, and this might be bringing in a new era of wrestling, and we'll get into it here at Trippy Commentaries. I'm RJ, here with Retro Brett.
Hello.
And live on location in Orlando, home of the new WWE Performance Center, is Corey. What's going on in Orlando, C-Dub?
Not much, guys. I've been running the ropes hard all day today. I just took a little break here to check in with my boys at TC and give you all the hard-hitting wrestling coverage that you can expect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we're real excited about this, like we said, new era of wrestling. Man, a lot of new up-and-coming guys here that we expect big things from in 2014. But before we get to it, we really have to pay homage to the Ultimate Warrior. One of my favorite wrestlers growing up. I mean, I grew up with this guy. When he beat Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania, man, I remember it was shocking to me. Corey, man, what can you say about the Ultimate Warrior?
Well, as I'm sure everybody's read, of course, the Ultimate Warrior collapsed one day after making his appearance on Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania. And he passed away. The Maricopa County, Arizona coroners declared it a massive heart attack or heart failure. Warrior was really unique in a lot of regards. He didn't have a lot of friends in the business. He didn't really fraternize with the boys like a lot of them do. He had a pretty short run. Really, I mean, he came into the WWF in 1987, and he was gone by late 1991. He came back in 1992, and then left again in 1992. And then he didn't come back until 1996, and again, he was only there for just a short amount of time.
Damn.
And the last real run that Warrior had in the United States wrestling scene was with WCW for a short time. Whenever they were on top, he took on Hollywood Hogan in the NWO for about a couple months. But, you know, as I said, Warrior was very unique. You certainly can't match his intensity and how much he really lived his gimmick. He really got into that character. You know, sometimes his interviews were a little bit out there, but, you know, they made perfect sense to him, I suppose. But yeah, it's just a sad situation all around, man. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young daughters. So that's always a shame, you know, whether you were a fan or not, to see something like that.
Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Ultimate Warrior as a wrestler here. I remember, man, he was just massive. He was a big guy out there, and he really used his size as his advantage. He was so strong. What can you say about just his wrestling skills and his style, Corey?
Well, Ultimate Warrior, of course, his big thing was the music hit, the heavy metal / rock music hits. And he comes out of the gate at like 80 miles an hour, full sprint, runs to the ring, shakes the ropes, hits all 4 corners, goes to the turnbuckles. So basically, I mean, before the match even starts, it's high energy and a lot of action. And then, you know, in the ring, he wasn't exactly much of a technician.
Yeah.
He worked a real powerhouse style. It was a lot of high-impact moves. He didn't leave his feet a lot. But, I mean, it worked, man. He was intense. That was, you know, whenever I think of the Ultimate Warrior, the 2 things I think are how colorful he was, and his attire and his face paint, the whole gimmick. It definitely popped. And the other thing is his intensity, man. He was intense. What about you, Brett? What are your thoughts on the Warrior?
Well, you know, you all heard me talk about how high intensity Daniel Bryan is. he has nothing on Ultimate Warrior, man. That guy was intense like no one's business. If it was any regular man, he would probably wind himself just by running down to the ring and have nothing left for in-ring. But he was in such good condition, and he was a monumental, big, huge guy, and he had a lot of wind.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace. Ultimate Warrior. It's great to see he's in the Hall of Fame where he belongs, even though, of course, he went through some things with, the WWF and the WWE, and he's in the Hall of Fame where he belongs, and he'll always be remembered. So, getting to this next season, of course, we're kind of calling it a season post-WrestleMania. A lot of things are changing. Just right off the cuff, Corey, what are some initial things you're looking for us to see, of course, through the end of spring, coming into summer?
Well, I think the post-WrestleMania transition, we're going to see a transfer over to a lot of the younger guys getting more time. Guys who aren't necessarily established as main event players. They're going to be looking to make that next guy who's in the mid-card, upper mid-card level. They're going to be looking to get him pushed up to where he's a bona fide main eventer and he can really draw money on the road at the house shows. And of course on pay-per-view and the WWE Network. Speaking of which, I also see the network, which as most fans have already seen, it's going to become a bigger and bigger part of WWE.
Yeah.
At my last report that I read, I believe that they're at 600 and something thousand
I believe that's
subscribers currently.
It's not bad.
And from the information that I have, though, however, they were aiming to hit 1 million subscribers for them to simply break even.
Wow.
So, to most, I mean, it seems like a great number, but, I can see a lot of push to really make the network to get that subscriber base up. And definitely that being featured a lot more. Of course, social media. They like to push the social media stuff, the hashtags. And another thing to cover, of course, is that Sting has reportedly signed with the WWE.
Yeah, wow.
There's not really any details out there as far as his role or what sort of position he could play within the company. Maybe just a Legends contract where they can use his likeness and bring him out on TV once in a while. And he might be making a run in the ring. Of course, the match that everybody's always pushed for is Sting versus Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
Which is certainly still a possibility. But the thing is, with the streak being ended at WrestleMania 30, of course, by Brock Lesnar, that opens up a lot of questions for what's going to happen with Sting. So that's something definitely to keep your eyes on out there.
Well, the Undertaker's future is certainly up in there. There's all kinds of rumors and stuff going around. So, I mean, it very well could be a possibility. You never know.
Yeah, we're looking at Sting right now, man. Like you said, Corey, that's certainly a match that a lot of us have always thought about for a long time. To see that at this point, I don't know if it's too late. What do you think? I mean, do you think that would still be a great match?
Unfortunately, Undertaker he's had double hip replacement. His knees are bad. He's had concussions. I mean, to me, I would rather see Undertaker never step in the ring again unless it's in a limited capacity, just like a brawl or something. I would rather see that than see him compromise his work and be remembered as somebody who was less than the best.
Yeah.
Because he really is in many ways. He's been the best, or certainly the most successful superstar for Vince McMahon over the years. But, the big thing is, at WrestleMania 30, they made another monster in Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And, to segue into what else we can see to come for the future.
Well, are we going to see anything from Brock Lesnar this year?
Beg your pardon?
Are we going to see anything from Brock Lesnar this year, you think?
I think so. Usually after WrestleMania, they'll kind of scale him off a little bit. I could see Lesnar definitely returning before SummerSlam. I know that in his contract, he's scheduled and, you know, paid for a certain amount of dates per year. A certain amount of those are appearances, and a certain amount of those are matches. So, I mean, they only have so many uses for him per year by the contract. So, you know, I think we'll continue to see Brock Lesnar used in a limited role. I would venture to guess that if not at SummerSlam this year, we may see at WrestleMania 31, we may see Daniel Bryan versus the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think that would be a very interesting match because obviously Daniel Bryan isn't the biggest guy, but he is very, very skilled technically, and he is a very technical wrestler. But then you got Brock Lesnar, who's huge, and
also a skilled fighter.
Yes, a powerhouse. But going back to Undertaker and what Corey was saying, I hope the Undertaker doesn't go with the Favre role and keep continuing and after his time has already passed. But then again, I always thought of Sting kind of like everyone else's version, every other promotion's version of the Undertaker. Like they were,
of course,
similar, but one was WWE and one was everyone else.
All right, now there's one.
The franchise players.
That was big time. One guy we have to talk about here. In fact, there's a bunch of guys I wanted to ask you about, Brett and Corey. But first guy we got to start off with, I think, is John Cena, one of the biggest stars, of course. Do you think he can return to his, his championship ways this year, Corey, or is this going to be an off season for John Cena?
You know, Cena's as young as he is, and I mean, as you know, busy and seemingly healthy as he is over the peak. I mean, he is coming toward the second half, or in the second half of his career. And as I've discussed before, Cena's at a point where he can make other guys. I honestly, the biggest thing I would love to see is John Cena, basically in this Bray Wyatt feud, finally turn into the monster that Bray Wyatt's talking about. And we finally see an aggressive, almost in between good and bad John Cena. Kind of like we saw at WrestleMania. They teased it a little bit. And the crowd loved it. They absolutely loved it. But, time will tell with Cena. I don't think we'll see him in the title picture anytime soon. But it's always an option, certainly. John Cena, as long as he's in the company, he will be one of the top guys.
Okay, and following up on John Cena, Retro Brett, what do you think of Bray Wyatt this year?
Oh, I think Bray Wyatt is a great villain. He's actually so good of a villain that he's almost a good guy. And people love to get behind him, and they love to follow him. Heck, at WrestleMania, there was more than half the crowd chanting for Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena. But as for Cena in the title picture, I hope it happens sooner rather than later, because I mean, I've always maintained that I'd like Cena to break the Nature Boy's record for championships, and I think he's within 2 to tie, and 3 to have the record.
You got to think he's going to get there eventually. Maybe not this year, but
I'm thinking it's an easy possibility. It's not a reality.
For sure. And one last guy I really have been wanting to ask you about, Corey, is CM Punk. Man, I really feel like the WWE and wrestling in whole is just missing something without him out there. And I feel like the losers in this whole thing are us, the fans. What do you think his outlook looks like this year as far as wrestling's concerned?
Well, you're right. It really is cheating us, the fans, because he's one of my favorites. He's a hell of a wrestler. He's entertaining. It's never forced. It's a very natural gimmick that he has. His personality, it's easy to like. The fact of the matter is, there has been a a crossroads with CM Punk and the powers that be in the WWE, not the Federation. Basically, his contract is up soon, and he has already worked, from what I understand, of course. I mean, I don't know personally. I haven't seen his contract. But from what I understand, he's already fulfilled all of his dates.
Really?
That he owes to the company. Now, I do know this. This week, what was supposed to be, and it looks like to me, a script from Raw from a few weeks back. It actually leaked online. Somebody leaked pictures. And on there, it lists the roster. And next to CM Punk, it says TBD, to be determined. So CM Punk is still technically involved. I mean, he's under contract to the company. He can't, he couldn't go to TNA Impact or Ring of Honor or anywhere else. He can't. He's under contract. But, time will tell if whatever issues are going on between, real-life issues, whether it's money, whether it's his position on the card, how he's featured and used, between he and now the people who are mostly in power, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and, of course, Vince McMahon. It's, time will tell what happens with those, with that whole situation, what happens between them. CM Punk certainly doesn't have to return to wrestling. He made a hell of a lot of money, I know that much, whenever he was on top. He had a great run on top as the champ. So, he could, from what I understand, just sit at home and occasionally go on the Walking Dead post-show and just basically sit down and do nothing. So, basically, time will tell with Punk. I certainly hope he comes back. Either, if not the WWE, then somewhere, because I really enjoy watching his work.
Yeah, I'm predicting that he will be back. I don't know how the hell it's going to happen, but I think we have not seen the last of CM Punk in the WWE, and I think he will recapture the championship at some point.
When he does come back,
That would be awesome.
he probably won't miss a beat. He'll probably be just as popular.
Yes.
Heck, he's all the time you hear CM Punk chants at Raw or at WrestleMania, and I think he's one of the most popular guys ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Well said,
And,
Retro
can you
Brett.
guys imagine how awesome CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title would be?
Yeah, I've thought of that, man.
I actually like that match more than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, definitely. That goes without question for me. Jeez. All right, well, we still have a lot more to get to. We're going to go ahead and cut off this part. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to stay tuned. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are huge wrestling fans. Corey is one of the most knowledgeable people you'll find about wrestling, as is Retro Brett. And, I've been a fan for a long time myself. So thank you guys so much for watching this part, but stay tuned because there's still a lot more to get to, and we're even going to look ahead to the 2015 WrestleMania. So stay tuned for that. I'm RJ for Retro Brett and Corey. Stay tuned, guys.